Once, the streets of Karachi told a story very different from what we see today. A story full of peace, culture, grace, and dignity. In those days, the city moved with a rhythm that seemed slower, gentler, and more deliberate. Where time did not rush, but flowed like the tides of the Arabian Sea brushing against its shores. People knew each other. Neighbors were like extended family. Life was simple, yet rich in meaning. Every gesture, every greeting, every smile carried warmth and humanity. Take a glimpse at a street in Karachi in 1946. Harmony and calmness filled the air. People walked leisurely, children played freely on the roads, and shopkeepers greeted their customers with a smile and respect. Here is Bandar Road in 1910, a time when life was measured by seasons, not minutes. People preferred walking or riding in horse-drawn carts, observing life as it passed. The air was fresh, streets were clean, and the city had a charm that reached the heart. A charm that made even a casual stroll feel like a journey into peace. On the roadside, someone is getting their teeth checked by a street dentist. Nearby, a man is enjoying a traditional shave, perhaps exchanging light-hearted conversation with the barber. A fortune teller reads a young man's hand, whispering tales of hope, dreams, and possible futures. Children laugh, chasing each other without fear, their happiness echoing through the narrow lanes. Shopkeepers are busy arranging goods in their shops while discussing daily happenings with neighbors. These were ordinary moments, yet they reflected the extraordinary character of life itself in Karachi. Life was not fast, but it was meaningful. In that era, double-decker buses ran proudly on the roads, elegant and grand. Those buses were not just transportation. They were symbols of the city's progress, a vision of organization and modernity. Karachi had once seen prosperity, wide streets, clean corners, and neighborhoods where trust and community were the foundation of daily life. Families knew each other, supported each other, and celebrated life together. Cultural events, small street performances, and gatherings at local tea shops were common. Evenings were often spent in communal harmony, with elders sharing stories of courage, tradition, and wisdom. But time began to change everything. After independence, migration surged. People arrived from all corners of the subcontinent in search of opportunities and safety. The city's population exploded. Infrastructure struggled to keep pace. The carefully laid plans of the past weakened. Streets that once whispered peace now roared with traffic, noise, and confusion. Crowding, encroachments, and chaotic traffic became daily realities. The calm, orderly city slowly became a bustling, stressed metropolis. Few today remember that Karachi was once home to open lands where deer roamed freely. Green spaces stretched between houses, and the fresh sea breeze carried tranquility into the homes and hearts of residents. Families gathered outside their homes in the evenings, children played freely in streets that were safe, and elders shared stories of life, wisdom, and tradition. Small gardens, courtyards, and shaded verandas gave the city a charm that is hard to imagine today. Local musicians and storytellers would often perform in town squares, adding life to the community. Karachi was a melting pot of religions, cultures, and languages. Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Parsis, and many others lived side by side, celebrating festivals together and sharing joy and sorrow alike. Mosques, temples, and churches stood close to each other. Harmony was not an ideal. It was a lived reality. Streets were safe. People greeted one another with kindness, trust, and respect. Festivals were celebrated with shared joy. Diwali lamps lit up streets alongside Eid celebrations, while Christmas carols and Parsi Navroz added to the cultural richness. This city was also one of the most important ports in the world. Ships arrived from distant lands carrying goods, ideas, and cultures. Merchants, traders, travelers, and scholars flocked here. Karachi became a hub of economic growth, culture, and exchange. Goods from Persia, Europe, India, and Africa passed through its markets. The docks were alive with trade, the harbor bustling with ships, sailors, and merchants. Coffees, spices, textiles, and precious materials were traded in lively markets. Yet today, the city faces immense challenges. Water shortages, electricity outages, crumbling roads, traffic chaos, and mismanagement. But remembering the past reminds us of the potential that still lies within. Karachi, once a small fishing village, grew slowly under British rule. Fishermen lived near the coast, and life was simple. Gradually, the British transformed it into a modern city with planned roads, drainage systems, railways, and a port that connected it to the world. The city grew steadily, but it never lost its character. Let us now take a journey through time, from 1880 to 1960, to see the Karachi of the past. The 1920s brought images of Manara, where the lighthouse stood tall, guiding ships safely to the harbor. By the 1950s, the lighthouse still stood, along with the majestic St. Paul's Church, both silent witnesses to decades of change. The streets of Karachi in the 1950s were calm, organized, and elegant. In the 1890s, Karachi was spacious and peaceful, full of colonial architecture and wide roads, its buildings a blend of European style and local tradition. Wide avenues were lined with trees, and street vendors sold fruits, sweets, and newspapers. Street corners were filled with informal gatherings where citizens would discuss politics, literature, or simply chat about the weather. Here is Bandar Road in 1900, a road that became a thriving commercial hub over time. After independence, it was renamed Ahmed Jinnah Road. The charm of this road came not just from its architecture, but also from the tram service that ran through its center. The trams were the lifeline of Karachi, running from 1885 to 1975. Affordable, reliable, and graceful, they connected neighborhoods and gave rhythm to the city. The sound of the tram bell became part of the city's heartbeat. When they stopped, it was not just transport that ended. A chapter of the city's heart closed forever. Bolton Market in the 1930s thrived with traders, buyers, and workers. Its architecture reflected careful planning. Victoria Road, now Abdullah Haroon Road, carried the elegance of the 1960s. Frere Hall, a symbol of learning and culture, hosted exhibitions and public events. St. Patrick's High School, founded in 1861, still serves generations of students. Lee Market, built in 1927, once the main market for vegetables, meat, and fish, reminds us of both the city's vibrancy and the neglect that followed. The Karachi Port Trust building, designed by George Whitted and inaugurated in 1916, still stands as a testament to enduring architecture. The Cantonment Railway Station reflected discipline and law in everyday life. Sadar Bazaar of 1910 was a hub of activity, yet calm and orderly. Clifton, with its open beaches and natural beauty, offered peace. Empress Market, constructed with red stone from Jodhpur, remains iconic. Zainab Market, once Elphinstone Street, was a shopping center that reflected social and commercial life. These photographs tell the story of a golden era. Streets were clean, transport was organized, neighborhoods were safe, and culture and diversity flourished. The British had built infrastructure, planning, and institutions. But after independence, instead of protecting this heritage, much was lost. Many historic buildings were destroyed or neglected, erasing pieces of memory and identity. Yet Karachi's story is not over. Its people are resilient, hopeful, and hardworking. The city's spirit lives on in its culture, traditions, and human strength. Karachi's history teaches us that cities grow not only through buildings but through unity, vision, and values. If we learn from the past, respect our heritage, and work together, Karachi can once again rise as a city of progress, peace, and harmony. A city where culture, development, and humanity coexist. Its golden era may yet return, and its streets may again echo with calm, dignity, and life. The story of Karachi is being written even now. Its past, present, and future are intertwined. And perhaps, just perhaps, a new chapter of glory is waiting to be created. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments to help us bring more stories from history. Thank you.